Shalom, Israel, and Shabbat Shalom to the 12 tribes scattered abroad. This is Brother Karatazar, Shield of Israel 144, back again with another quick precept. And today we're going to be talking about the law, right? So let's jump right into it and go to the book of Luke, chapter 16, verse 17. And it reads, "And it is easier for heaven and earth to pass than one tittle of the law to fail," right? So starting off, we're just talking about how in the book of Luke, where it says it's easier for heaven and earth to pass than one tittle of the law to fail. So it's easier for heaven and earth to just go away than the smallest minute detail of the law to fail. What does this mean? You hear that, certain people say that the law, we don't have to keep the law, or we can't keep the law. It's impossible for us to keep the law. But right here in the book of Luke, it's telling you if it's easier for heaven and earth to pass than one tittle of the law to fail, I think that's an indication that that the law, we still have to keep the law, right? The laws of God, certain laws that, dietary laws, keeping the Sabbath, the high holy days, and all this to the best of your ability. I recognize there's some laws that we're just not able to keep because we don't have a standing temple, but the laws that we are able to keep, we must keep them. You know what I'm saying? So let's go to the another book. Let's go to the book of Romans, right? 7 and 12, because I don't understand how you can have a nation of people or try to serve God without the law, right? This is the book of Romans, chapter 7, verse 12, and it reads, "Wherefore the law is holy, and the commandment is holy, and just and good." Why would you want to do away with something that is holy, just, and good? If the law is holy, just, and good, don't you think we should be keeping it? I just think that if something is holy, just, and good, I think it's for your benefit to keep it, I'm just saying, because without the law, what is your guide? What would you be judged on when judgment day come, right? I don't know what you will be judged on if you're not keeping the laws of God, right? And it says it all throughout the Old Testament and the New Testament that the laws, statute, commandments that the Lord gave the children of Israel, you have to keep it, And if you're a so-called native, so-called Hispanic, and so-called black of Indian or black descent on your father's side, Negro descent on your father's side, you are an Israelite. And the Lord told you to keep these laws, statute, commandments, because these laws, statute, commandments was given to you, right? And it was given to you for your good, because if you keep the law, the Lord is going to be with you. As a whole, if we keep the law, the Lord is going to be with the children of Israel, So, let's go to the 1 Timothy. Because we just read that the law is just and good. I don't, so if all these things are good, is to our benefit, right? So let's go to the book of 1 Timothy, right? And it reads, "But we know that," Salakia, right? 1 Timothy chapter 1, verse 8, and it reads, "But we know that the law is good if a man use it lawfully," right? So you use it lawfully best by observing the law, right? So we know it's good. Who's read it in the scriptures in Romans. We know it's just. And you know what I'm saying? It's for your benefit, right? And this is how you know that you love God, that you be obedient to him. Because the law is just being obedient. Now, everybody want to say that they love God and they know God, they know, my heart and all these things and other, but don't want to do what the Most High God of Israel say, right? Let's go to the book of John. All this is in the New Testament on top of this, right? Let's go to the book of John, chapter 14, verse 15. 15. And it reads, if you love me, keep my commandments. That's straight, plain upon tables, to the point. If you love Christ, if you love God, you will keep his commandments, right? It's as plain and simple as that. Why would you want to do away, as I hear some people say, the law was done away with? Why would you want to do away with something that's holy, just, and good, right? And if you're a follower of Christ, you definitely should want to keep this law, statute, commandments that the Most High gave it, and the faith in the Mashiach Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Christ, right? Let's go to 1 Peter's, and I'm going to wrap it up because it's a quick precept. 1 Peter's 2:21, right? You are a follower of Christ, you are called a Christian, which means you do what the law said in the scriptures in the book, because Christ said he came in the volume of the book, and you follow Christ. Let's see what 1 Peter 2:21 said, right? For even hereunto were ye called, because Christ also suffered for us, leaving us an example that ye shall follow his steps, walking in his ways. Verse 22, who did no sin, neither was guile found in his mouth, right? So if you're a follower of Christ, you're going to, walk in his steps. You're going to follow his steps. And in following Christ's steps, Christ did no sin, right? I'm going to get one more precept and I'm going to get out of here, right? So you follow Christ, you following his steps, and you do no sin, right? Let's go to the book of John, 1 John, chapter 2 and verse 3, right? And it reads, and hereby we do know that we know him if we keep his commandments. If you know God in Christ, you keep his commandments, because here's the flip side. If you don't, he that say, I know him and keepeth not his commandments is a liar, and the truth is not in him. It's pretty plain upon tables, right? So, all these things that you hear, we don't have to keep the law, but it's holy, just, and good. We are followers of Christ. In the book of Peter, it reads that you should follow in his steps because he did no sin. In the book of John, if you love him, keep his commandments. These things are plain upon tables. And if you're one of those people that's not keeping the law, statute, commandments, particularly the Israelites, I think you should just re-examine yourself and read these scriptures, because the scriptures also say, seek ye out the book and read and study to show thyself approved, which means you have to pick up this book, read and study it. Study it for yourself. Get into this book and read it and see for yourself. Do your own research, because you don't have to follow the commandments of men. You don't even have to listen to me, but pick up the book of the Lord and read it. The scriptures say this is the book of the law and the commandments which shall endure forever, paraphrasing. And because your salvation is at hand, because the Lord not listening to sinners. As one of the scriptures say, when you pray to him, he don't hear sinners. And if you're not keeping these laws, statute, commandments, you consider to be a sinner if you're an Israelite, because the law, statute, commandment was given to the Israelites. So this is Brother Karatazar, Shield of Israel, 144. Shabbat Shalom to all the 12 tribes of Israel scattered abroad. Kwam Yasha Allah.